Y'all, that's a, no, that's a wasp. That's gonna be spicy if you catch it. That's gonna be a spicy jalapeno raisin. That's not gonna be your standard variety. Ladies, I wouldn't recommend. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather with the Moscow, and today we are out here talking about fall crops. I love fall crops. It's fall. Moving on. It's terrible. Sorry about that. I had my dogs out here, but there were 2 wasps that are flying around, and they were desperately trying to eat them, and I was like, that is a spicy jalapeno sky raisin. Like, you're not gonna like that one. And I think one got one because she ran inside, so I just put them all inside. Can't have everything. So let's talk about what fall crops are, when I'm planting mine, what I'm planting. I was gonna show y'all me planting them, but I'm thinking in retrospect, you've seen me plant a bunch of times, that maybe we can just talk about it and you can imagine me planting them, and then we'll do updates and such. Again, my name is Heather from the Moscow, and here in East Tennessee, we garden in a Zone 7B. In the woods, we live in a modern log cabin, we love it, so this is our fall crops. So I've got laid out my seeds. Big shout out to my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, Carolina and Steve, because they bought me the most amazing seeds for Christmas, and I have not bought any seeds all season because they have been a beautiful selection of seeds. And they bought things for me that I wouldn't have bought for myself, and it's forced me to like try things that I wouldn't have tried, and it's been really fun. So I love that. So tell people, if you're a gardener and people want to know what you want for Christmas or your birthday or whatever, tell them just get you seeds, and they will buy you things that you're going to try and find that you love that you probably wouldn't have bought yourself, and it's going to be fun. So anyhow, moving on. When to plant fall crops. So my last frost date is the end of October. We're about 2 months before that here, August 20th. So September-ish, fall crops are things that grow when it's not super hot outside. They can't handle the blazing heat. They bolt super quickly. So that's what we're aiming for here. So I would say 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. These are things that can handle a light frost anyhow, so they're not gonna just on you if you get a frost. So I've laid out here a selection of seeds that I want to grow and plant for my fall harvest, and hopefully I will not be lazy and I will actually plant all these. So I will grow these all in my production garden. They will all be on drip. Everything in here I'm going to direct sow. There are some fall crops that you can start inside first. Most notably, I would think like brassicas, things like broccoli, cauliflower, some kales, things like that. But I'm gonna direct sow all of this because I am lazy and my seed setup leaves something to be desired. If I had a beautiful greenhouse over there, I'd just do it there, but I don't. So you gotta work with what you're given. Here on the Moscow, by the way, this channel is all about working with what you've got, trying new things, not being afraid of failure, and seeing that not everything goes perfect and you don't have everything right, and just do it anyhow and see what happens. So the first thing I want to talk about is beets. Steve and Carolina got me these, and they're wonderful. Now, I planted these in the spring, and I harvested quite a few, and I really, really enjoyed them, much more than I thought I would. So I'm gonna plant both of these this time. So I've got the Chogia, I don't know. Let me just put it in front of the camera. When you cut into these, now when you cook them, they change color, but when you cut into these, it is the most vibrant and beautiful thing you've ever seen. I would also like to maybe pickle some beets. I didn't get any cucumbers this year for my garden, oddly, and I love to make pickles. I love to have homemade pickles. I'm such a pickle snob now. I'm like, oh no, we don't eat store-bought pickles. We don't do that. Well, we're gonna be eating store-bought pickles because I ain't got no cucumbers. So maybe we can do some beets. And I thought about pickling my okra, and I may still do that, but I've gotten lazy. But next week, I bet I can do it next week. I need to go harvest the okra. Probably gonna do a harvest video here in a little bit. Anyhow, so the next one is these cylinder beets. These look really, really interesting. See if it'll focus on them. Look really, really interesting, and I'm really excited to grow these as well. Both of these I'm gonna direct So I will add land and sea compost and biotone to everything that I plant. They are all going to be on drip irrigation, so I don't have to worry about water, but it's going to be fun. It says 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost, and then thin them. We're just going to throw them in the ground. That's how we do. The next thing that we're going to grow, and again, I have not grown this till this year, and I really enjoyed these plants. They were super beautiful out in the garden. And then we ate quite a few. Any vegetable, by the way, if I don't know what to do with it, I will cut it into chunks and I will roast it at 425 with olive oil, salt, and pepper. And I have not met a vegetable yet that I did not like that with. You cook it till like a fork goes in it, real easy. Never had a problem. So we're gonna grow some cabbage. And this is the glory of whatever that word is that I can't pronounce. So we'll try to put some of that out. And then I've got this golden acre cabbage. Better for use than storage here. Prefers cold weather and ample even moisture. That's another thing I want to take a second to go about. When you see all these things, these are all cold, hardy crops or winter or fall crops, spring crops. Same thing, things that like to grow when the sun day is shorter and it's just not as intense. When it's just not as intense, these like to grow. The way that you can kind of tell is if it's like best planted in late summer, fall, for fall, winter harvest, or this one is, let's see if it says somewhere on here. Doesn't necessarily say on there, but best in cooler weather. So anytime that it talks about cooler weather, then you can kind of know, okay, that's a fall crop for me. The other things that grow well in fall are things that bolt quickly, like lettuces and leafy greens and cilantro especially. Things that bolt quickly are going to grow better for you in the fall because they're not going to bolt because the day is not harsh enough to bolt them. Is that a saying? To bolt them? Okay, close enough. This is the other thing I'm going to grow. I'm very excited about this. I've never grown this before. Again, because someone else bought my seeds for me, I'm growing a lot of things that I wouldn't try and I'm pretty excited about. So super card holdy green from China. This is a winter choy. Again, I will roast it because I don't know what else to do with it, or I might Google it. But I'm excited about that as well. So that's kind of our cabbage section. And then I've got a selection of lettuce. And there for a period of time, I was buying lettuce seed packets like I was changing underwear. And at some point, I just mixed them together to make my own like little lettuce variety. So sometimes I will spread my seeds out and let it be like baby green lettuce and just come chop like, you know, this large of a section every week and wash it and put it in my container. And sometimes I will let them head up. And that means that you're gonna plant one like every 6 inches and then let it make a head of lettuce. And then when it has a head of lettuce, you cut it off. So I've got a romaine lettuce here. No picture on that, or I just showed you this one. Ruby lettuce, I'll probably mix that one. This says that it is Gustav's salad lettuce. And I have grown this before and I've had that head up and it was really pretty. But it's not what's in here. What's in here is a mixture of crap. Can you see that? There's spinach in there, there's who knows what. So this is gonna be my baggie that I just do this number with. Do one of these right next to the drip line to have like loose leaf lettuce because it's no longer what it says in the packet. And then I've got this Farmer's Mesclun blend. I mean, if it's already blended, you might as well blend it. You blended somebody? I blended somebody. So, a blend. Let's just go with that. I also love this, and I will let this head up because this is a beautiful lettuce. This is whatever it says on the packet. I can't pronounce that. Listen to my accent. Do you think I can pronounce words like this? Drug names. I can pronounce drug names because in my professional life, I almost said I do drugs. That's not accurate. I deal a lot with medications. So I can pronounce drug names. I cannot pronounce this. Forellenschuss. I tried. But anyhow, I will space these apart so that they will head up for me. We also have several bags of spinach because, again, at some point I was buying seeds like I was changing underwear. So, spinach. I like to have spinach, especially in salads, but I also like to cook it, you know. Interesting story, because apparently it's story time now, is that when my general eating healthy is a struggle because I love through food first. Second of all, I love the feeling of cooking like old school Southern, because you can hear my accent. I'm from the South. There's no doubt about it. And there are certain aspects of Southern culture, such as our accent, that I like. And one of them is the loving other people through food. And I don't think the Southern United States is the only place that loves other people through food, but that is my love language. And so I like to make things from scratch. I like to make bread from scratch. I recently had some family over, and we had, bread from scratch when they got there, biscuits from scratch, butter from scratch, used the buttermilk from making the butter to make the biscuits. So making everything as much as possible from scratch, and I was cooking the whole time, and it was lovely. And then I could bring out, oh, did you need more jam for your biscuits? Here's the jam I canned. I get a lot of joy in that, and in the summer, it's awesome. Recently, Jason he smoked a pork, pork. You know what I mean, barbecue. And I made a homemade barbecue sauce and canned it. So in the summer, he'll smoke some pork, and then we'll bring out a homemade barbecue sauce, and I'll grab whatever vegetables are in the garden, and we'll roast those up and eat them. And that makes me feel like I have won at adulting. That and getting gas in my car before the gas light comes on. Those two things. There's two ways to win in adulting. It's not how successful you are, if your kids grow up okay, none of that. Making dinner from scratch with products from your garden that you grew and getting gas before the gas light comes on. Look at this gray hair. You know I've been driving long enough to know how to get gas before the gas light comes on, but it hardly ever happens. To be fair, and this is taking a random tangent, when I go to work, and I work over 40 hours a week, I drive 50 miles one way. So I get a lot of gas. Knock on wood, I've never ran out of gas. Like, I've never been on the side of the road and ran out of gas. But you know how your car says, like, you got 4 miles? I get very close. Moving on, back to the story at hand. That took a turn. So, cilantro. I mentioned this before. I love cilantro. I love all Central American, Latin American food. Would like to be better at cooking it. I do make my own tortillas, flour. I'm working on making the corn tortillas. Carolina, don't kill me. She has shown me before, and I'm trying to get better at it. Yeah, but any case, cilantro. I love cilantro. My husband does unfortunately have that whole soapy thing. So he will tolerate some. My kids love it. And so, but we've got several packets of cilantro because, again, I was buying that like that. I don't know if I'm going to plant these. I will always plant cilantro, spinach, lettuce. I don't know if I'm going to plant these. Maybe a small section, collard greens. Collard greens to me scream southern crop, southeastern United States crop. That and okra. Like okra and collard greens. I recently had a friend over that moved here from California, and she knows what okra is, but she'd never grown okra, and she was gardening a lot in California. And I was like, oh yeah, these are my 10-foot tall okra plants. Nothing else is growing, but if you need some okra, I got you. But I feel like those are quintessential southeastern crops. So I've planted these once, and I didn't have a lot of success, and I think I'm going to try again. I think these probably do better deeper in the south than where I live. I think I'm going to get too cold too quick, and it's going to be too far in the shade, but I'm going to try. Because again, I love to make collard greens. Collard greens, like onion, bacon, really slow cooked over a long period of time. and then black-eyed peas from the garden. You know, on New Year's when you make collard greens and black-eyed peas, I wonder if you can freeze this. I wonder if you can harvest it and freeze it. Certainly you could like cook it and freeze it. I need to look into that. But wouldn't it be fun if we had black-eyed peas and collard greens from our garden on January 1st that we had preserved? That's goals. We're working on this. This is taking a while, isn't it? I got choked. All right. So then we've got sugar snap peas. I bought these. I don't care for these. They are beautiful. I will probably just put these on the fence line because it would take absolutely hardly any effort to go in there and just pop like a whole slew of seeds on the fence line that I already have my Ruby Moon Hyacinth bean. Like, that would take no effort. They're already on irrigation. Just throw them in there. I probably won't even amend the soil. Just stick these in there. Jackson said he liked these at some point, but then when I grew them, I guess the variety I grew, which was these, he didn't enjoy that much. So we'll try again. We can always give them to somebody, but we have the seeds. It would be little to no effort to put them in the ground, and they'll make a pretty vine crop. So we'll do that. Now, the wild card here is going to be barley. Again, Steve and Carolina gave this to me. It says a black or dark purple barley, excellent for cold climates. Graceful heads have ornamental potential. Great in arrangements. Barley is a traditional staple in Tibet. So in well-worked, moderately fertile soil in early spring or late autumn in mild winter areas. Does best in cool conditions, fairly dry soil, harvest 50 to 60 days or when heads are golden. I have no idea how we're going to harvest this or use this, but I do have a section of my garden that's not being used by anything. I may just plant the whole thing with this. Because wouldn't it, at very least, it's going to be fall, this would be beautiful. At very least. But I do think we could like make barley soup. Isn't that a thing? Put all your barley recipes in the comments. Do the barley recipes in the comments thing. But barley. So the last thing that I have on the table here for us to discuss is carrots. I want to circle back though. Oh gosh, I use corporate terminology. I want to go back and remember that there are things, this is not an all-inclusive list of what you can grow for your fall crops. There are many more things. You could put a lot more, you could put some more ornamental cut flowers. You could do some more cut flowers. You could do lots of things. I would specifically be looking for things that say they grow better in colder climates, and specifically for things that have a quick maturity date. Those are the two things I would be looking for if you're looking through packets and trying to wonder if that's going to be something that's going to work. Or there's lots of lists online. Again, comment below the things you like to grow in your fall vegetable garden. And things that work here for me may not work well for you, or things that work well for you may not work well for me and therefore aren't on this list. And so comment those things below so we can share. But carrying on with the last is carrots. Now, carrots are interesting for me. I have grown them several times. I am horrible at thinning them. Problem one. Problem two is that I have heavy clay soil in my production garden. So I usually grow all of my root crops in my raised beds that are next to the RV pad. And I will probably do that with these. There's a raised bed right now that has kind of like half corn. I will probably put carrots in there. So that's what we're doing with that. But I have several varieties here, again, that I didn't buy myself, and I am very excited for these. So this first one is Lila Lu Seng. It's a 75-day, but look how beautiful that carrot is. So again, I would take these and I would roast them at 425 with olive oil, salt and pepper. I would add garlic powder to this. Delicious. I also make, I'm bragging on myself a lot. There's a lot of things I'm bad at. I cannot make seafood very well because I don't eat it, just so you know. Also, again, I don't get gas until we are 5 miles from empty. The other day, we were working in the yard, or I was working in the yard, and Jason was at somebody's house helping them out. And he comes home, and he's like, do you need help with anything? And I'm like, well, yes, actually. My weed eater won't start. Oh no, my weed eater needs gas. And my blower needs gas. And I can't get the lawnmower to start. And he walks over and he goes, it's because it needs gas. And I said, well, if you need to go to the store and get gas, don't take my car because it's only got 5 miles. Ooh, so I'm not very good at that. We've talked about that a lot, y'all. Talked about that a lot. Anyhow, moving on. So these carrots are beautiful. I would roast these at $4.25. I would serve these any day of the week. I love roasted carrots. I also like raw carrots, but roasted carrots as well. And then I make a pretty good carrot cake too. There's a recipe online for carrot cake that has a brown butter frosting that is to die for, and I've been making that ever since. There's no other way to make carrot cake now. These are the St. Valerie carrots. It's a very old French variety. Handsome, large, bright red orange, 10 to 12 inch roots, smooth, sweet, and tender. Our favorite. They said they were their favorite. We gotta grow these. That's their favorite. I mean, come on. And then we've got Scarlet Nancy's. I've grown these before. I like these because they are not super tall, and because I have really thick, heavy clay soil, that would be a better variety for me to grow out there. Now we're moving on. This is the same as the other ones. This was the free packet. It's free. These last two that I'm the most excited about. So these are Kyoto red carrots. Now in my house, our favorite country to travel to is Japan. My kids love Japan. My husband and I love Japan. It's a lovely, lovely country. Some of the best produce and food I've ever had in my life has been in Japan, and I don't like fish, so that's interesting. But we love the culture of Japan, the food of Japan. We love Japan. So when I saw these, I had to have them. It's a Japanese Kentucky sweet red type carrot. Silky red carrots have exceptional texture and sweet flavor. Slender roots grow to 12 to 18 inches, must be planted in the late summer, fall, winter, not for spring planting. And they say they take, doesn't say how long it takes to harvest these. I wonder if you have to wait. But I'm very, very excited about these carrots here. Very excited. They probably will taste like crap because I'm growing them here in the United States, and our amendments and such are probably different, and my growing conditions are different. We will try. We have these strawberries in Hokkaido, Japan. That's with an H in case I'm saying that funky. Hokkaido, Japan. We had strawberries there. Incredible. And then we were at a restaurant, and I thought they were cutting us up a lemon, and it was an orange, and it was the most incredible orange I've ever put in my mouth. Like, incredible, incredible food. So then we've got these. They actually say, I've read somewhere, or someone told me, I think someone told me, that it's from the snowfall. So Hokkaido, Japan is one of the most snowy places in the world, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And the fact it makes the spring really good because it fixes the nitrogen in the snow, maybe? Maybe that's a thing, but it's from the snowfall. It's what I hear. Don't quote me. And these are Pusa Asita Black. Yeah, look at these. Look at these incredible carrots. This is another reason to grow your own vegetables, because you can try to grow stuff that you're never going to find in the store. And wouldn't it be wonderful if you were sitting there at Thanksgiving dinner and you were like, I'm going to bring roasted carrots, and this is what you brought. Incredible. Why do these things excite me so much? So bred in India, heat tolerant and extremely rich in antioxidants, perfect for hot summers. Whoopsie. I didn't read the packet before right now. Rich in anthocyanins and practically black, performs better than other carrots in extreme heat. Oh. We'll try them. And then we'll plant them again in the spring. Well, you gotta read your packets, because not all carrots are created the same. So anyhow, that is a roundup of everything that I am going to be planting for my fall crops. this is a lot of things on the table, and that makes me very excited because that means we're going to have a lot of options for produce. And again, half of it's probably going to die, but that's okay. I have gotten so much productivity out of my production garden, so much productivity, and I could be more diligent about harvesting and staying on top of things, but a small space will really give you a lot of productivity. But I find if you look at it like, you know what, I didn't get a number of cans of tomatoes that I wanted, or I didn't get this, or I didn't get that. If you look at what you didn't get, you will be disappointed, but if you look at what you did get, you will be surprised at all the things you harvested. So in any case, sometimes when I go around my kitchen, I'm like, oh yeah, I grew that, I grew that, oh, there's the basil I grew and dried. Sometimes that's helpful for me to remember to be thankful for the productivity that God has given me. So in any case, this is what I'm going to be growing in my fall crops. I will go out and clear a couple rows. I'm looking at 3 rows right now that I could clear out for these fall crops. And pretty soon I'm going to be starting my cool flowers seedlings inside, and I will make a video on that as well. But I just wanted to show you guys what fall crops I'm growing, what options maybe you have, so hopefully it can give you some ideas for you to do your fall garden. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for dealing with my rambling. Comment below the things you're putting in your fall garden, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.